Let's keep it moving in the NBA yesterday. This is an interesting one. If you would have told me before game time the New York Knicks were going to win 107-98, you know what I would have told you here? Jalen Brunson's going to have a monster night on the court, and a way the Knicks would go with a victory. But how about this? Take a look at that box score. Jalen Brunson played under 1 minute in that basketball game, missed his only field goal, didn't score a single point, and yet the New York Knicks went on the road and won. And my goodness here, if you're taking a look at Josh Hart, 45 minutes played yesterday, 5 of 12 from the floor, but how about this? 19 rebounds and 10 assists to go along with his 13 points. That is an unbelievable feat yesterday. Now, you might be saying, okay, Cleveland, you still should have won that basketball game. They were without Spider Mitchell. Shouldn't have mattered there at that point here. That's a big-time win for the New York Knicks, who, again, I equate to the Philadelphia 76ers that we're going to talk about a little bit later, stealing a victory in Dallas. Any one of those wins that you can come up with without your superstar and or multiple players in your starting lineup, that's going to be a big victory. King yesterday for the New York Knicks overall, the three-point line, 41% as a team for the Knicks, shot 70%. By the way, very rare you'll see this in the NBA, right? 7 of 10, not from the three-point line, from the free throw line yesterday for the Knicks, and still handedly winning in Cleveland, even though they were shorthanded at multiple positions here. But shout out that team. And also McBride off the bench, playing 47 minutes. These guys are Iron Men over there in New York City. Congratulations, great win there by the Knicks. Let's keep it moving. And one of those games where we take a look at the Clippers coming out of the break, a little bit of the doldrums, a little bit of a lull here, but now back-to-back victories. How about an 89-88 win over the Minnesota Timberwolves? And no, this wasn't the final score of the end of the third quarter. This was a full game here. Defense was across the board. If you take a look at the Clippers overall, Paul George, 34 minutes. Kawhi Leonard, 38 minutes. James Harden, 34 minutes. That's what we expect out of the big three. However, he only got 15 points out of PG, 5 of 16 from the floor. And how about this? James Harden, he was perfect in the wrong way, people. 0 for 10 from the floor, but still ended up finishing up 4 points, but more importantly, 10 assists. And also Kawhi Leonard dropping 32 here. That's a big-time victory on the road. And also, when you couple it with Minnesota trying to fight for that final spot, should I say final spot, the top spot over on the Western Conference, that's a really big win for the Los Angeles Clippers on the road now with back-to-back victories. Maybe they can get back to their NBS best ways before the All-Star break. So back-to-back wins for the Clippers here, but also a loss for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Did you know the Timberwolves coming into that game, people, 22-7 on their home court, now dropping to 22-8. If we flip it over, it seems like an all basketball morning today, and rightfully so. Incredible action on Saturday and Sunday, which did include the 6th ranked Iowa Hawkeyes besting Ohio State 93-83. Now, if you guys remember, just a few short weeks ago, this was one of the better basketball games we've seen on national TV and sort of captivating the audience when Iowa went into Ohio State, and a monster performance by Caitlin Clark wasn't enough to win that game. They returned the favor by winning by double digits and covering, but also the bigger ingredient in this game, it was Caitlin Clark needed 18 points to be the Division I scoring record leader over Pistol Pete Maravich. She got 35 points yesterday, 9 assists and 6 rebounds. Now, the all-time NCAA leading scorer here. Impressive performance. Now, we know she does like to take a lot of shots, right? 10 of 26 from the floor, 6 of 17 from three-point range, 9 of 10 from the free throw line, but also added in 9 dimes in there. We say this repeatedly. Look, Ohio State was a top 3 basketball team coming in here. You are also going to have unbelievable matchups once you get to the conference tournament in the Big Ten, but more so than ever, throughout the 90s, throughout the early 2000s, it was UConn, it was Tennessee. Now it's switching back to multiple teams that can win it here. Well, LSU, who won it last year, looking to repeat. Of course they are. You take a look at the Iowa Hawkeyes, so much fun losing in the final last year, but more importantly, there's a team out here right now that we're going to talk about, South Carolina, 29-0 on the season. 16-0 in conference play. A 76-68 win over the Lady Volunteers. South Carolina just continues to roll. So we have that superstar talent, those superstar teams here. Teams looking to repeat like LSU, as I just said. But South Carolina, who's going to knock them off? They clearly are the favorite here in women's basketball. Perfection in conference play. Now, the key is going to be, can they make it through their conference tournament? And then also through the March Madness tournament here, which we just said. Multiple teams gunning to knock them down, but an impressive performance for Dawn Staley's crew this year once again. Looking to get back to the throne in college basketball. You know who else is looking to get back in the throne in college basketball? So is UConn Huskies in men's basketball. 91-61 final over the Seton Hall Pirates. And how about this clean victory? Winning by 15 in the first half? You guessed it. 15 points once again in the second half. We had JY on late last week here on the early line. I asked bluntly, is there any chance that the Seton Hall Pirates will be able to upset the UConn Huskies on that Sunday afternoon? He emphatically said no, and he was exactly correct here. The UConn Huskies rounding in the format at the FanDuel Sportsbook right now, the favorites to cut down the nets in March Madness. Let's also take a look. Look, we hit every single realm of the sporting atmosphere this morning. Louisiana, not LSU, Louisiana ends Oklahoma's record 71-game streak in softball, finally coming to an end. Louisiana prevailed 7-5 in 8 innings to end Oklahoma's big-time win streak there. See that? Made it all the way around here. We got in some college basketball for the men's side. We got in women's college basketball. We also got in some softball action and some NBA action. People, to Monday right here on the early line. We are going to take you through everything. We got NFL topics coming up, the biggest NBA games, and also a preview of what's to come this week. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the early line right here on SiriusXM channel 159.